Hi, welcome to Vocalize. In this video, I am introducing letter flip books and how to introduce letters with these letter flip books. So what I am talking about are these letter flip books created by Rhett University. And there's one for lowercase and uppercase, okay? And these are used for writing. And the purpose for, or the importance for writing with your nonverbal individual, especially if your individual does not have functional hand use. My daughter has Rett syndrome, so in addition to being nonverbal, she doesn't have functional hand use. She can't pick up a writing utensil to write. So these flip books give her the ability to write with just her eyes. And it's really important that I give her that avenue of writing, because no matter how many AAC methods I use with her, no matter how good she gets at using her device and how many new buttons and boards and phrases I put in there, she's never going to have access to all spoken language if she doesn't know how to write. So I want her to have that freedom. I don't want her to have limits on language. So allowing her to write will just allow her to be able to spell out every opinion, every idea, and any exclamation that she wants. And I really want that for her, as I'm sure you want for your nonverbal individual. So writing is important. Okay? As I said, this video is focusing on introducing letters, so teaching letters to your nonverbal individual. So that could be because your individual is young, so like 1 to 3 years old, or maybe your older individual just unfortunately didn't have access and opportunities to work with letters and writing, and this is something that's going to be new for them, whatever the reason may be. Developmentally, you have the uppercase and the lowercase book. Developmentally, you want to start with the uppercase, okay? So there are 2 reasons for this. One, uppercase letters are just easier to distinguish, okay? There are more differences between how the uppercase letters are written than there are lowercase letters. For example, I wrote here, the top row is lowercase, B, D, G, P, and Q. And if you notice, all of them just kind of have a rounded bit with a long extension off of it. And to someone who is brand new to letters, this is going to be very confusing, and it's going to be hard to quickly look at one of these letters and identify it. But if you start with the uppercase letters on the bottom here, there are more differences. So it'll be easier to quickly distinguish and identify what the letter is. Also, if you have an individual who is able to write, or even if your individual doesn't have functional hand use like my daughter, you can use hand over hand and you can still trace the letters. But uppercase letters are just easier to write. There are more straight lines, which is developmentally more easier for individuals than curved lines. And uppercase letters are typically written larger than lowercase letters, so they're just easier to write. So for those 2 reasons, start with the uppercase book, okay? And what this book looks like is the 26 letters are all available here, and they're broken into smaller groupings. So you have 5 pages in the flip book, and each page starts with a vowel, and a highlighted vowel, because when you get into writing, vowels are needed. There is a vowel in every word and every syllable within a word most times. Okay, so here it's broken into 4 letters: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. And then you get into longer groupings, and it just goes through the whole alphabet. And then here at the bottom, you have a yes picture, you have a no picture, and you have a few extras in between. Turn the page, space, not finished. Okay, but yes and no are going to be your primary uses down here. Okay, so you are going to use this, position it the same way you would with a yes-no board. If your nonverbal individual is not established and doesn't know how to use a yes-no board, or they don't have a best yes, you need to teach them that, and they need to get comfortable using that before they can effectively use this flip book. So if you're not familiar with the yes-no board or the best yes, go ahead and check out some videos that I have posted. The links for those will be at the end of this video. Okay, and I'm just going to model for you how I use this flip book to work with letters with my daughter, who is 4 years old. So when introducing letters with your individuals, if you just present it in the form of this flip book, as wonderful as this flip book is, it's not going to be all that entertaining, okay? And really, honestly, when teaching a new concept of anything, the more avenues of information that, or methods that you present that information in, just the better your individual is going to absorb it. And it makes it a lot more exciting. So in addition to using the letter flip book and having an intentional routine that I have with my daughter, throughout the day, we are reading books about ABCs. Three of our favorites are ABC by Allison J, LMNOPs by Keith Baker, super fun book, and of course, Dr. Seuss ABC. I'm reading those with my daughter all the time. Singing songs, of course, the ABC song, but there are multiple renditions with ABCs. There's one that I even heard with sounds, and it's great. Showing videos with letters, about letters, playing games with letters. Those are all great things to expose your individual to letters outside of a sitting down intentional learning situation. Okay, so the routine in how I present and work with my daughter with teaching her letters, same way that I would with her yes-no board. I place the flip book center directly across from her, and I'm aligning my body behind the yes. All right? So, okay, what letter do you want to learn about right now? Okay, what letter should we learn about? Do you want the letter A, B, C, or D? A, B, C, D? No? Okay, let's keep going. All right, do you want to learn about the letter E, F, G, H, F, G, H? No? Alrighty, let's keep going. Do you want the letter I, J, K, L, M, N, I, J, K, U, M, N? Yes? Okay. Do you want the letter I, J, K, I, J, K? No? All right, and the second part I've seen presented in two different ways. Either you can go through as one grouping. Do you want the letter L, M, N, U, M, N? Or I've seen it that, you've eliminated this grouping, so therefore it must be this grouping, and you just jump right into individual. Do you want the letter L, U? No. Do you want the letter M, M? Yes? Okay, so just to keep the example going, I'll pretend she said no to all of those. All right, do you want the letter O, P, Q, R, S, T, A, P, Q, St? Yes? Okay. Do you want the letter O, P, Q, A, P, Q? No. Do you want the letter R, S, T, St? Yes? Great. Okay. Do you want the letter R, No. Do you want the letter S? Yes? Okay. So then what I would do after she picks her letter is I have a children's dictionary that I will go in, and I'll just flip to the letter that she picked. So in this case, R. Okay, so what begins with the letter S? So start, state, and we live in the country, in the United States, and there are 50 states. Stay, steep. When something is steep, it's very up and down. It'd be hard to climb. Stem, step. You step up. Stick, sticker, sticky. Okay, all of those start with S. Something I might do in it as an alternative to the dictionary, or in addition to, is I'll go into my daughter's eye gaze device. She has a Tobii i13 and uses a SnapCore program on it. And I will find words on her SnapCore that start with S. So, all right, sleep, September, soon, smile. And the awesome thing about that is that it's like dual purpose then. You're teaching her letters, but you're also giving her access, or you're modeling different language and different boards and how to navigate to those boards on the eye gaze device. So that's great too. And then after we go over some example words that start with the letter, then I'll show a YouTube video. So 2 channels that I really enjoy using are Storybots and Little Fox. Both of them have great 1 to 1.5 minute videos on each letter. They're super fun. And then usually she wants to go through and do it all again with another letter. I think our record is maybe 7 letters in one night. She's 4 and she enjoyed it so much she sat for all of that. So just going back, as you saw, I presented, so partner-assisted scanning is the method that you present with the flip chart. And all of the directions on how to use that are written on the inside of the cover of the flip book, because the people at Rhett University are geniuses. So you always have those instructions. But the way you do it is you will point and say all of the options on one page, and then your individual will say yes or no to that grouping. If they say no, then you move on and you point and say all of the options on the next page. If they say yes, then you will break it down and point and say each individual one, allowing them the chance to say yes or no to each one. As you saw with the last 3 pages where you have 6 on a page, you're going to break them down into 2 smaller groupings of 3. Okay, so you would present all of them. If they say yes, then I, J, K, I, J, K, yes or no. If they say yes, then you point to each individual letter, giving them a chance to say yes or no. If they say no to that, then you move on to the second grouping, and you would do the same. Okay, so after you've been working with your individual for a bit with the uppercase letters, then make sure that you keep the same routine, but then switch to introduce the lowercase letters. The majority of our written language is in lowercase letters. So they definitely need to be able to identify and recognize and use the lowercase letters. When you are initially making that transition between the uppercase and the lowercase, you can do some outside of the learning routine that you've established. You can introduce some games that will help connect the uppercase and the lowercase and help them realize, okay, these are pairs that come together. So, for example, this is a very easy game that I created for my daughter. I just printed out these cards, cut them in half, right? And then what I do with her is I present 3 options, and I'm just like, all right, here's an uppercase O. Where is the lowercase o? And then she would use eye pointing to tell me that is this one. As I mentioned earlier, we read Dr. Seuss's ABC book a lot, and that book has wonderful rhythm. It's very catchy. So I actually incorporate it into this game. And I say, good job, you made a match. All right, we've got big O, little o. What begins with O? Octopus. Octopus starts with O. And then I put out another lowercase letter, put one of the uppercase matches here, and she would go through it all again. And this game is engaging enough that my 4-year-old and my 2-year-old will sit there for all 26 letters and then ask to play it again. So simple games like this that you can incorporate to help match the uppercase and the lowercase are great. So this video was all about using the flipbook to introduce and teach letters and their sounds. But once your individual gets familiar with them, then you want to then transition into using the letters to form words and really get started with that writing. So I have another video, the link will come up in a little bit, and you can click on that for the introduction to writing. So, all right, thank you so much. Feel free to email me. I'd love to hear from you, and check out some of my other videos. Thanks.